And now, can we be honest for just a moment? Most of us think about sex fairly often, and we may have a lot of unanswered questions. Well, in her new book, Sex Plus, Learning, Loving, and Enjoying Your Body, my next guest, she breaks it all down. Joining me now, YouTube star and sex educator Lacey Green. Hey, Lacey, good morning from Los Angeles this morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Very good. It's very early, but I am so excited. Book's out.
I know these probably aren't your usual hours. People know you, Lacey, a lot from YouTube. You've been a star there for really over a decade. This is your big topic. Let's talk about all the issues that people have when it comes to their sexuality. First off, how can people talk to their partner about what they want? It's a big one.
That is a big one. I think that it starts ideally from the beginning with creating a mutual understanding that it's okay to be honest with each other about things, even if it's something that might make you a little bit uncomfortable. And I think in order for us to really be able to talk about that, it's important to convey to your partner that I'm not going to judge you, I'm not going to shame you, it's okay. We can talk about this and it's cool and we'll figure things out. So I think kind of setting that precedent is really important, and then also just working up the guts to say it. Say it out loud. Once you get it outside of your brain, I think that it helps people feel a lot better and it makes the conversation easier going forward.
I agree with you, and I think it's so much easier to start that right from the beginning. Just set the precedence of, you know what, we're going to be honest. And then you're right, it takes two. You can't judge the other person, can you? Let's talk about these days in particular, you know, we're more willing to admit and talk freely about the idea that not everyone's sexual identity is the same. We all want to be in touch with our own selves. How can we discover our own sexual identity?
Well, I think giving yourself permission to explore some of the things that are maybe a little bit taboo or have some stigma attached, doing some self-reflection, and I hope that there are some good tools for that in the book. Just sort of thinking critically about issues in sexuality and how they relate to you and how you feel. It starts there, and then I think it moves forward with people kind of having more conversations out loud with others about this stuff.
Yes, I prefer conversations out loud too. I think it's the way to have them instead of having them in your head and not having the courage to speak honestly. And you know, I have to credit my mother, Lacey. My mom always kind of encouraged me to be open about these kind of issues. She's like, it's not a big deal, just talk about it.
That's so great.
Yeah, it is helped me a lot. Something that people are talking about a lot right now here in the country, it's really a sign of our times, is consent. What is your take on consent?
Consent is very important. That's my take. It's mandatory. It's a really big part of having a healthy sex life and some sex life that doesn't violate other people. It's interesting that this conversation's happening now, all this stuff is happening now because, you know, I see consent as really a foundational part of initiating a sexual relationship, just basic communication about what you're cool with. Is this okay with you? Do you like that? You know, do you want to keep going? Those are basic questions. So the earlier we can get on board with being comfortable talking about that stuff, the better, because we're seeing what has happened in a culture where we don't take consent seriously and maybe even sometimes encourage an environment where it's weird to talk about consent.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are basic questions, and yet sometimes they're overlooked. Go figure. Thank you so much for you really dive in deep in this book. Thank you for you know, taking on the topic head on and making people feel more comfortable. Great to talk to you this morning.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you.
Get a copy of Lacey's book, Sex Plus, Learning, Loving, and Enjoying Your Body. It's out today. To learn more, visit the website on your screen. HarperCollins Publishers is a proud sponsor of The Morning Blend.